Good morning. Hope everyone enjoyed the blizzard. We're gonna get going. It's daytime, but it's still dark. Have to head into work. Gonna go into the city. I'm gonna take you along for the entire ride. Just got the update, so we have 14.2.2.4, and I'm really curious to see how it does with speed profiles on the highway and just everything in general. So, gonna creep out here a little bit slowly. The roads are, fairly good, icy in spots, and it's really cold out right now. So, I mean, my car was in the garage, so the temperature's probably a little off, but the weather app showed that it's about 6 degrees. My car right now showing that it's 16 degrees, which I don't think it is. I would love it if it was 16 degrees. So we're gonna head out here, and we're gonna see how we do on our way into the city. So let's kick the speed profile up to Mad Max, which is what I like to drive in when I'm on local roads. So not sure where everyone else lives, but right over here in Rockland County where I live, we wound up with about 18 inches of snow, which was pretty significant. My kids really enjoyed it. I did not go out and play in the snow, but the kids definitely had a great time with the snow. And we hunkered in and just watched football on Sunday. And I didn't go to work yesterday. And now today back at it into the city. But it looks like most of the country got hit pretty hard with the snow, so hopefully everyone's all right. Hopefully everyone has power. As always, I want to thank everyone who's been watching the videos. The last video we had, which was from the city through the Lincoln Tunnel to Hoboken, seemed to get some good comments. I'm glad everyone was enjoying that. If you do like the videos, please like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notification bell. It really helps me and helps out the channel, so I can continue to bring you guys some great content. This will be a good ride because we're going to check out here locally, obviously where I live. We'll get onto the Palisades Parkway, cruise along the Palisades Parkway, get onto the George Washington Bridge, which will be a nice merge. Hopefully not too much traffic. We're leaving early in the morning. And then take the West Side Highway down, and then we'll be into the city, and I'm very curious to see how the city is with all the snow. So stick around. As always, I'll chapter it up. So if you want to just watch the city portion of the ride, you can always skip to that part. It's also my first night video, so hopefully everyone can see all right. But we'll obviously see, well, when I edit it, we'll see. Hopefully it's good for everyone. Also want to see how the energy is because of the cold weather. It'll be good to see how we do energy-wise with the battery. We started off with about 66% battery, and we've already consumed 0.1% more than they projected, but obviously the cold weather is going to degrade the battery a little bit. and I like to keep the car pretty warm. I also warmed up the car for about 40 minutes before I got in it, which helps warm up the battery. But range really isn't a concern of mine on this trip. Even leaving at 65%, 66%, I'll still make it back and forth, no problem. But you can tell by these mounds of snow here on the side of the road that were plowed away that we got, you know, a pretty good amount of snow. I was having some issues with the speed profiles on 14.2.2.3. I think the car was driving pretty slowly, relatively speaking, on these streets here. It was kind of almost as bad as it was when I had version 13. A couple times I had to give it a little bit of acceleration to maintain speed or go to the speed that I wanted. So hopefully that is an issue that's been resolved on this build here. Right now we're just keeping up with traffic, which is good. Also, what I've been doing when I get to traffic lights is I've just been editing out the wait time of the traffic light, and then I just let us pick back up when the light turns green. But someone in the comments said they'd prefer to see me fast forward the traffic lights. I don't know, I get mixed comments on that. I don't know what people prefer, so maybe I'll try fast forwarding it rather than cutting it. I assure you I'm not cutting anything out that's important to the ride ever. Like I said, I would rather show you guys some things that go wrong. I think that makes for a pretty enjoyable video. I'm not looking to just show that the car is always great. But most of the time it is great. And a lot of times that it isn't great, for whatever reason, I don't have the camera rolling. Just Murphy's Law. I'm not sure if anyone's been paying attention, but so they've got the unsupervised robo-taxis going out in Austin, and what they did, which is great, and hopefully it comes to the regular cars eventually, is that they have washer fluid now that can wash the cameras, which is really important, especially the rear view camera. The rear view camera in snowy type weather gets a ton of salt on it, and a lot of times the full self-driving won't work because you can't see backwards, which makes sense. It needs to have all cameras available to it. And when you get all the salt and all the snow debris hitting the back camera, it blocks the view. So it's good to see that Tesla did that. Obviously, I think everything they're doing is moving towards automation. we're gonna get ready here. We're gonna get onto the Palisades Interstate Parkway. So the speed limit for this parkway is 55 miles per hour. So what we'll do is we can start off in standard mode, and we'll see how we do, and then we'll kick it up to hurry and see how we do there, so we can test out the speed profile. So I just put it down to standard mode just now. We'll do a little merge here. Does a good job yielding for the car there. So notice that that car was coming well in advance, and now we're going to get on to the Palisades Parkway. And so here it's slowing down a lot. It really shouldn't slow down this much here, but there's a little bit of snow, and then we merged in. So normally on that merge it wouldn't have stopped as much as it did. I think because of the snow it caused it to kind of stop more than just ride along in the merge lane. But previously it would just ride along in the merge lane, but you know, nothing bad or nothing unsafe. Last time I did a video for a ride into the city, I cut out most of the ride on the highway, and people commented that they want to see the entire ride. So I'm going to give you guys the entire commute down into Manhattan. Should take about an hour in total if we don't hit a lot of traffic. So let's switch it over to hurry mode, see if we can get into the left lane here. And here we go. Car's gonna make us move into the left lane. Staying about 65, 66 miles per hour in hurry mode. Now we're heading up to 67, so 68. So hurry mode, we are moving. We're going 50 miles per hour with the speed limit, up to 70 in hurry mode. Really moving. I mean, we're going 20 miles per hour the speed limit, which I mean, I would think that would be reserved for Mad Max mode, but and if I kick it back down to standard mode now, we should slow down and merge back into the right lane. We are still going pretty quick. What I notice is if you go from hurry mode to standard mode, it allows you to go a lot quicker in standard mode. Like if I were to just start in standard mode, a lot of the times it'll only max out at, say, 65, 62, 60, between 62 and 65, which I think is good. Sometimes if you're in hurry mode, it'll allow you to maintain the higher speed longer before it kicks back down. But now we're getting back into the right lane. And I'm a right lane driver. I'm very happy just chilling in the right lane, going 60. So this is fine for me. It's getting a little brighter up ahead. Sun's coming up. 6:36 in the morning. But this is a little too slow. I mean, now it's going in. It's going to go into the left lane even in standard mode. I'll put it back into hurry mode just because I don't want to slow traffic down while in standard mode, while being in the left lane. But this person here is just going pretty slow. My car, once it gets into the 70 mile per hour range, it's not the smoothest drive. I mean, that might have to do with me possibly having some bent rims or something, who knows. But it definitely is, you can probably hear it. A little bit noisier at the higher speeds. A little bit more of a rough ride. So up to the left of the car is east. We're going mostly south, so that's why you're seeing the sun coming up a little bit to the east, which is nice. Hope you can make out the sunrise through the camera. Someone merging here. Let's see what we do here. So we are going to try to give the guy room to come in. He's not coming in, so now we're going to speed up. So the car was giving that guy a little bit of a little bit of a window so he could attempt to merge in, and then he just didn't take it. So then, rightfully so, decided to just speed up again and not let him merge. But for the most part, FSD is, pretty willing to let you get ahead of it. It's not super aggressive. It allows cars to merge ahead of it, even in situations where regular people probably wouldn't. But at least it realized, hey, listen, this guy's not going. Let's just, speed back up and go. find the Tesla navigation to be pretty interesting. Like, it gives you the navigation point to the exit that's before even the bridge. I mean, I'm sorry, that's after the bridge. So, I mean, you would think it would show you that you're going to navigate because there's a merge that comes up where you can either go left or you can go right towards the GW. And you would think it would, and most navigations do, like Waze or even Google Maps, I think. But that is the next waypoint for navigation. And even though Tesla navigation does use Google Maps, it doesn't. This is exit 1 here, but this is exit 1 when you're on the bridge already. So I find that to be, you know, pretty interesting, the way they handle that compared to the other navigation systems that are out there. I really prefer the other ways better. I did hear a rumor that eventually Tesla's going to start notifying you where police are on the map. That would be really good if they did that. Allow you to adjust your speed profile if you're going too fast. Time the Palisades Parkway, the max speed limit was only 50, which, I mean, that was really slow. I think the Jersey side might have been 55, but when you crossed into New York was only 50. I can't remember exactly. See how we're doing with energy. So holding strong. Just 0.1% more than what they projected. Shows us getting there with 49.1%. And obviously it bases everything on you doing 55 miles per hour. So any of the EPA ratings that you see for these cars is based on you doing 55 miles per hour, which, you know, most people don't drive 55 miles per hour. Good job keeping up with traffic. I like that it's keeping a nice distance between us and the car in front of it. No need to tailgate. And it also now does a really good job of just braking when it sees brake lights, which previously, as I mentioned many times, especially in version 13, it was really bad at that. My kids actually have a 2-hour delay from school this morning. Even though the roads are fine, I guess they're concerned about some ice and maybe people were plowed in and didn't get to fully shovel their way out of their driveway. So make sure all the teachers can make it, make sure the buses can get there. So a 2-hour delay, which my wife's a teacher, so she's excited too. It's not just the kids who like snow days, teachers like them also. Starting to get a lot more light now. January's pretty much done. You get through February and then we're almost there. Winter just started, but it's almost over. I mean, I'm really not a fan of winter. See off to the left, but it's really nice. There's some ice floating in the Hudson. Nice sunrise. So we're coming up to where the bridge will be. Hopefully there's not a lot of traffic getting through the toll. Typically if you leave this early in the morning you don't hit a ton of traffic. I'm not sure if everyone's planning on coming in today. I'm sure a lot of people took off yesterday, but it's got to be back to business as usual, I guess, today. Showing 13 degrees right now. Moving away from the snow there. The snow was kind of into the lane, so we kind of were hovering between two lanes, but there was no car, in our way, so it was fine. intersection here, we should start slowing down, and we are. This guy here's merging, we'll let this guy go. So good job here, slowing down, and now you'll get to see how we merge. They really squeeze you here. It's a situation where it gets from 3 lanes down to 2, and then 1 lane getting onto the bridge. Put them at max, not that it makes a difference. So not terrible traffic here. It's going to alternate, let people in. I was debating whether or not I would fast forward this through when I edit, but I think we're moving along pretty good where I can kind of keep this. Put in the comments what you guys prefer, if you'd rather me fast forward through these boring parts, or if you want to see the entire ride so you kind of get the entire experience. Before they had it, they've been doing road work on this part of the Palisades on the merge onto the bridge for the longest time. Before they had it this way, they used to have toll booths for the Easy Pass before you had the automatic Easy Pass. And there would be at least 7, it had to be at least 7 lanes to get through the Easy Pass. And then you had to have 7 lanes turn into 1 lane. So the traffic was really, really bad. I mean, this right now isn't that bad, but I mean, I remember as a kid before Easy Pass when most people had tokens or you had to pay cash. That was a disaster also. going to work with my dad as a kid, and just we had to go over the Throgsden Bridge to get to work, popping the token in. The advancements with technology is unbelievable. I mean, I remember the tokens on the subway, and then they went to the MetroCard, and now they're going to be done with MetroCard completely. If they already aren't done with it, I think it was ending, relatively soon. I don't know what people that don't have smartphones are going to do if they don't have smartphones and you can't get a MetroCard. How do you get in the subway? But maybe everybody has a smartphone now, I guess. But just because you have a phone doesn't mean you have like a credit card attached to it. So I wonder how they thought that through. Like, what do kids do? So the car does a really good job understanding traffic patterns. Like, it knows that this car should go, then we should go. It's not hesitant in going when it's its turn to go. Previous builds, it was a little bit hesitant sometimes. So if you had an aggressive driver trying to really not allow you to go, they'd cut you off. You'd lose a turn, but it does a really good job now just following the traffic pattern. The bridge, which is great. So once you get this part of the bridge coming from the Palisades is great, because if you go the other way through Jersey, there's a lot of traffic, a lot of areas where you can go through the toll, all coming into one. So typically the traffic is a lot worse. Here at least you get on, and it puts you ahead of all that traffic. So once you get past like the little toll booth merge there, where we had to go from 3 lanes to 1 lane, you're right on the bridge, no problem. If you're coming in, from the other part of Jersey, straight shoot onto the bridge, you have to go from a lot more lanes into the 1 or 2 lanes that get you onto the bridge. They do a really good job with snow removal on the bridge. If you look to the right, you can see it's like kind of packed, but it's obviously not all the snow. They must actually like remove the snow and take it somewhere. Right in front of us, that's the new Model Y. Looks really nice. the rear view of the car. They did a really, really good job. I'm excited to get that as my next car. That's what I'm leaning towards. I was giving some thought to maybe the Model 3, but I mean, it's going to all depend on price as well, but the new Model Y is really nice. One thing the car is going to eventually have to do is it's going to have to, in addition to getting the washer fluid for the cameras, it's going to have to automatically do washer fluid for you on the windshield. I wonder if the robotaxis do that. Here we'll do a good merge, and we'll get onto the West Side Highway. Hudson River here. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a lot of ice in the Hudson River. Here's the pothole I always go in. Boom, there we go. Not as bad when you're going slowly. So far doing a good job. Sometimes the car gets confused here and will try to go right in previous builds. Not always, but every now and then it will do that. Also in version 14.2.2.3 I was having a lot of navigation related issues where the car was just going weird ways. Sometimes it wasn't even following the navigation, but it was, you know, not to the benefit of me. To the point where I'd have to disengage the autopilot or disengage the FSD. So hopefully that's been adjusted in 14.2.2.4. But like I said, every time I have an issue, I'm not making a video. But essentially, this is my life. Just sitting in traffic, letting the car drive me to work, which is a lot more relaxing than having to be in traffic and drive myself to work. The car I had before this, I had a 6-speed manual transmission. So you can only imagine being in traffic in that car. So the difference from driving that car to driving this car is night and day. And I do love a manual transmission. If I was able to afford a third car, I would definitely get a like an old Jeep Wrangler or something with, like, you know, a 6-speed. But for your daily commute, especially if you're sitting in traffic, this is really, really relaxing and enjoyable. I did see that Elon Musk said that once they get full autonomy, they're going to jack the price up for the monthly subscription for FSD, which is kind of going to stink because, you know, I won't get to enjoy full autonomy if it's out of my budget. So hopefully they don't really jack it up. $99 a month seems pretty fair. But they've decided to get rid of the ability to purchase the full self-driving. They totally got rid of autopilot. So people who already even had autopilot and purchased it lost it. And they're being offered FSD at a discounted rate. I think at like $50 a month, $49.99 or something like that. But originally when this first came out, for a subscription, it was $199 a month. And then they lowered it to $99 a month because they need the data. So if they go back to $199 a month, that's kind of going to stink. But we'll see if that happens, when that happens. Might be the end of the Salty Tesla YouTube channel. Short-lived experiment. Windshield off a little bit. So it'll be nice to see eventually autopilot doing that, where it just cleans off the windshield itself. You should be able to get a good view of the Hudson. Look at all the ice in the Hudson. So it's got to be really cold for the Hudson to freeze. Right now, being on the West Side Highway, being in traffic like this is the type of traffic where, you know, the traffic pattern can stop, the car in front of you can stop, and I feel very safe knowing that this car will stop at the right time. With the version 13, a lot of times I would disconnect the autopilot or disconnect the FSD just because I was super nervous that we would stop at the last minute and I'd get rear-ended. I don't have any of those concerns anymore. But look at all that ice. I don't know when the last time I saw that much ice in the Hudson was. be getting off the west side of the highway soon, and then we'll see how the city streets are. I can't imagine they're bad. New York does a good job with snow removal. Now they're saying there's potential for a possible storm next weekend as well. Hopefully that's not the case, because I really don't have any more room in my driveway for snow. I was worried that I was going to get plowed into my garage, because I have someone plow my driveway, and they push the snow forward, but there's not a lot of room left for them to push the snow. And even before, there's not a lot of, even for this storm, there wouldn't have been a lot of room for them to push the snow, where I was afraid that they were going to plow my wife's side of the garage in. Luckily they didn't. But if we get another storm, there's no way to put the snow. In front of us. I think the Model S is really nice. Or is that a Model 3? I'll take that back. That's a Model 3. But I still do think the Model S is really nice. If we can make this light. Looks like there's gonna be a little bit of traffic over here. Depending on traffic, sometimes it'll have us just, go straight across 56th Street because the garage is on 56th Street, or it'll have us go here on 57th Street. But here you got the sanitation trucks all lined up. This is where the sanitation trucks are kept. I guess this is their hub. So they're out in the back getting ready to do more snow removal. It looks like they probably put the snow in the back of that truck there. So they literally pick it up and just remove it. So we got a little more morning rush hour crosstown traffic. It'll be interesting to see how we do here if there's a lot of snow, you know, that's in the right lane, but it doesn't look bad. But look at these cars here, so you get plowed in. I don't know how you parallel park. See, here's a situation where the car should get to the right lane, because if cars start making left turns here, I'm going to be stuck behind this car making a left turn. So this is a situation where you'd like to see the car anticipate that this guy's making a left turn onto a one-way street, and we should get over to the right. Now I could put the blinker on, and it'll probably go to the right. But so now what's going to happen is we're going to be stuck behind this truck trying to make a left, if he indeed is making a left. But that's something that the car really needs to learn how to anticipate. When you're dealing with city driving, especially when there's one-way streets, you don't want to get stuck in the left lane. I mean, it's not going to do anything bad here because there's no traffic. This guy made a quick left, so it didn't really hurt us. But the car should be in the right lane. We should be in the right lane. And now conversely, because like we're going to be going now where the one-way street goes to the right, we should stay in the left lane. So it should know to alternate and be in the lane where you're going to be able to go straight with the least amount of resistance. But now we're getting into the right. And being in the right when the traffic is going right isn't as bad, because a right turn is quick and easy, but a left turn, you know, an unprotected left, it could take the guy in front of me the entire light to turn left, and then you can't go. And you could be 3 or 4 cars back. And you're stuck there because you're in the left lane when you really should be in the right lane. So now we're getting squeezed here because of the snow removal and the cars being parallel parked. So we're going to head, you know, kind of in between both lanes. So it's doing a decent job riding both lanes here. Let's see what happens here. We're going to have to probably get into the, it looks like it'll be able to stay in the right lane. We're going to get into the left, but we're going to have to go back into the right to make a turn soon. Now we should get back over to the right, because if these cars are going to make a left. So here's a situation where I was having problems with the navigation in 14.2.2.3. Let's see what happens here. If we make a right here, it's got to get all the way to the left to make the left turn. And what it was previously doing is it wasn't going. This guy's waving us on, so we're going to go. Now it's got to get over to the left. And it's doing it. Okay, so you see here how you have to you have to get into the left lane here. In 14.2.2.3, it was not doing it. It would stay straight. So it looks like that's been improved in 14.2.2.4. And it wasn't just a one-off, it was happening a bunch of times. Now we should go. We have the right of way, so we should go here. I don't know why we're not going. We've got the arrow, so we should be going. I'm gonna have to give it acceleration. It's not going. It's getting confused by the bike lane being red. So there I had to do a little intervention. I had to give it a little acceleration there. And now we should turn into the garage here. Let's see if we can turn into the garage. All right, we're turning into the garage. So that's good at least. We're gonna head right into the garage. But we had to do a little bit of an intervention there to give it acceleration. And we'll stop it here because it can't park itself over there as much as it wants to. All right, well, thank you for watching, everyone. I'm gonna end the video here. Once again, if you like these videos, please like, subscribe, turn on your notification bells, and I will catch you for the next one. All right, be good and be safe, everyone.